wanted to talk to you guys about William Henry Quilliam today. And as I read out a little bit about his bio, his life, what he did, who he was, I'm actually going to attach the research article in the description. So please make sure you go visit it and look at it and read it. William Henry Quilliam. He was born in Liverpool in England, and this was in 1856. He was brought up as a Methodist until about 1887, when he changed his name to Abdullah Quilliam after visiting Morocco and converting to Islam there. Morocco would be the country where recently two progressive Scandinavian women went and ended up getting beheaded by Islamic militants. That Morocco. He became a significant figure as a supporter of the Ottoman Caliphate and their movement. He then founded England's first mosque as well as Islamic centers. It's always you white people who end up converting to us, by the way. Fascinating. And this might sound familiar to some of you who know of the radical converts that are currently in universities teaching. Back to Quilliam. He was a lawyer and a member of numerous fringe esoteric Masonic lodges, a public and a prolific convert and propagator of Islam in Britain. This was in the late 19th century and the early 20th century. He was the first and last Sheikh al-Islam of the British Isles. He was later accused of malpractice and abandoned his law practice, as well as the Muslim community he built, and went to live alone for 20 years, and he changed his name. You'll find all of this in the research article that I'm attaching. William founded, or Abdullah, I should say, he founded the Liverpool Muslim Institute and the British Muslim Association to promote Islam in Britain. These organizations were formed for the purpose of Islamic da'wah. Again, da'wah is how you convert non-Muslims into Islam. Da'wah is Islamic preaching. So formed for the purpose of Islamic da'wah in the Western world. So he was basically an Islamist, focused on propagating Islam as a movement. That's what Islamists do, okay? Or as I like to call it, metastatic cancer instead of Islam. That's another word. Quilliam sought for an ideology that would provide an ally for his passion for social justice. Who does this remind you of? Islam was it. Now you know why the liberals are stuck with Islam. They love it. They fused Islam to their platform. So apparently between the years of 1888 and 1908, his brainwashing work was extremely successful, especially in the context of changing attitudes toward both Islam and the Ottoman Empire. Because by 1896, Quilliam had successfully converted 182 English men and women into Islam and established a mosque and an Islamic school as well as an orphanage. Amazing work. He had also attracted the attention of the Sultan of the Ottomans, the Khalifa of the Sunni Muslim world. This guy is the guy that called him the Sheikh of Islam in the British Isles, by the way. As well as the attention of the Emir of Afghanistan. The Sultan awarded him the title and also donated £2,300 for the purchase of the mosque. Now we move to 2019 and let's look at a fellow in England that is known as Maajid Nawaz. Maajid Nawaz is a prominent British Muslim activist as well as a radio host. Maajid is a self-professed moderate Muslim as well as someone who claims to have been de-radicalized after being imprisoned in Egypt with the Muslim Brotherhood. He tries to make inroads with other groups in the broader British community. The organization Maajid Nawaz founded for his advocacy of tolerance is called Quilliam. Yep, named after England's first extremist convert. Now, to its credit, Quilliam actually has done some good work. They have released a report which did confirm the mass rape gangs that was happening in England, that was cited by Tommy Robinson, and stated that these rape gangs were indeed by British Pakistani Muslims who were raping women and holding them as sex slaves. So that is excellent work. But like many people in this culture that I grew up in, not all is good. Now, when Keith Ellison was running for president in the Democratic Party, Keith Ellison, the one who was alleged to beat his wife and the one who has ties with the terrorist organization of the Muslim Brotherhood, that Keith Ellison, one of the people who openly advocated for him and supported him was Maajid Nawaz. So Mr. De-radicalized, in fact, endorsed a Muslim Brotherhood figure. Now, one could call that strike two for Maajid Nawaz, but he was embarrassed on an international scale by this. By the way, whatever happened to Keith Ellison? He is the Attorney General for Minnesota. You guys have a lot of problems over there, by the way. Yeah, anyhow, back to Maajid. Donald Trump has recently indicated that he is looking at listing the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization or possibly listing their front groups as terrorist organizations internationally. This is based on a request that came from the president of Egypt to do this. This is something that many people who are fighting extremism have been screaming about for years. This is something that we should celebrate and welcome. But, of course, there's this one person who's very vocal about their opposition to Donald Trump doing this, and I don't care if you like Trump or not. It doesn't matter if you hate Donald Trump. You should welcome and be happy that he is listing a terrorist organization for what it is internationally. And now comes Maajid Nawaz complaining and saying that this is wrong and that Donald Trump should not list them as a terrorist organization. But why? I'm going to read to you what he tweeted. He posted on Twitter the following. I'm going to quote it. "I'm a fierce critic of Islamism," he said, "Muslim theocracy. But with a lifetime in this field and years spent in Egypt's jails with the Brotherhood and their leader, Dr. Badi, I say Trump is wrong here. The Brotherhood are Islamists, but they do not adopt terrorist methods." End quote. Those of you who listen to the Quilliam report, I'm going to attach episode 8 in the description. Please go listen to it. It is from the Operation Kill Switch for Tom Quilliam, which is a fundraiser to try to take these Islamists to court, because now what they do in Canada is warfare to silence you. In it, The title of this episode is Trump Threatens Brotherhood Buzzcut. Tom makes the case and explains the long history of violence and terror that's been brought on by the Muslim Brotherhood. And that's just for the naive Canadians, not people like me who lived under Islam. I am an ex-Muslim. أنا عشت تحت الإسلام ومش محتاجة حد يقول لي أي حاجة لا عن البلد اللي أنا جيت منها ولا عن الإسلام. I will say something again and you're going to keep hearing me say it. Don't tell me about my culture. Don't tell me about the ideology that I lived under for 26 years. One thing we learn as women, as women, Arabic women who lived under Islam, we learn how to identify snakes, and we also learn how to deal with them, and we know when people are lying to us. This is what frustrates me right now. You know, it's what I have is an acquired skill from a miserable and a painful life under Islam and Saudi, and I'm here to warn and tell you, save you all the trouble. Maajid Nawaz acts as a pacifier to the ex-Muslim community in North America as well as Europe. Why? What is his role here exactly? Why would he defy all logic and reason and come out against putting the world's largest terrorist cartel and listing them as a terrorist organization? Why do you think he is defending the Muslim Brotherhood so fiercely and doesn't want them listed as a terror group? For me, this is what I call strike 3 for Maajid Nawaz.